All right, a very big welcome to you, my dear listeners and viewers from all over the world. Thank you for joining me on another great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Defense Minister receives new service chiefs. Now, it is not about changing service chiefs. It is not about Defense Minister receiving new service chiefs. Do you have the political will to stop insurgency? That is the big question. And some of us already know the answer to that question. The political will is completely lacking under the APC to stop insurgency in Nigeria. And David, under that post, put this. He said, this is the country where president signed off lifetime benefits for sacked service chiefs. You can see they are having a mass burial there. And the service chiefs, the sacked ones, are going with lifetime benefits. It means you don't really see that they have done anything wrong. It's not as if you are angry with them that they did not perform. They did your bidding. So we all know what we are doing, and it is not strange to some of us. We know that the APC are complicit in this insecurity in Nigeria. And if Nigerians don't get the APC out of power, like I keep saying, we will never see the back of insecurity in this country. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming out of the health sector. You need to carefully listen to this update when I break it down so that you can know the level of the rot in this country of ours. And next is that big one coming out of the United States. The Donald Trump-led United States government has completely disgraced Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, and I knew that it was only a matter of time before Soyinka begins to face this level of disgrace worldwide. The whole world has now seen the evil that Professor Wole Soyinka supports in his home country, Nigeria, due to tribal sentiments, and as such, they are beginning to withdraw his privileges as a Nobel laureate. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. All the lies and the claims of insecurity reducing in Nigeria was humbly thrashed in this video by Chief Peter Side. Watch this video.
Security. I'm not a security expert, but to me, the way to measure whether something has improved is to ask yourself sincerely, Shehu, which parts of the country are you prepared to do a road journey without armed military escorts? Last week, I drove from Akure to Ondo. People were begging me not to drive from Akure to Ondo. And I said, why? I don't know if you saw, somebody said there was some leaked DSS, either interception or the other, about some people planning to attack communities in Ondo and all that. So when people keep on saying that things have improved, do they actually go out and travel and test it? It's almost as if the number of places you can conveniently drive from one town to another is shrinking all the time. Okay, years ago, you couldn't go and drive around rural Borno State. But now then Zamfara joined. Now it's parts of Yobe. Now we're talking all the way down to Kogi, Ondo State and all that. So I'm just giving you real life examples. So have things really improved? 10 years ago, would anybody have told you not to drive from Akure to Ondo? So that's the way I measure things.
You saw that. That was Chief Atedo Peter Side there calling a spade a spade. Anybody who says that security has improved in Nigeria should come and do road trips without security, without heavy escorts. These are people that come to TV stations with heavy escorts within Lagos and within Abuja. Then they will sit down there and tell you that security has improved. Now, this is not to say that people are not traveling by road in Nigeria. People still travel by road, interstate in Nigeria. But the truth is, they do that with their hearts in their mouths. They do that shivering, knowing that anything can happen on the roads. They are just doing those things because those journeys are unavoidable. So that means they are not secure when they cannot travel freely. And people still get kidnapped. But it is not everybody that will get kidnapped. That is why you see some people are still, making these trips, and they make it safely. It doesn't mean that many people are not getting kidnapped. So don't let anybody lie to us that security has improved in Nigeria. It has not at all. As a matter of fact, insecurity is spreading in Nigeria. And Soyinka here says, true, Gusau to Magami in Zamfara is a good place to start. Without announcing the trip, let the whole Tinubu family travel by road without escorts. Few minutes after they leave, a presidential election should be announced because they will be picked. That's what Soyinka is saying. And Ayobami posted this. He said, there is a particular route between Zamfara and Kaduna. The soldiers won't allow you to pass through a town called Safe once it is 6:30 p.m. And they don't open the road until it is 7 a.m. the following day. This is happening in Nigeria. And somebody is coming to talk about security improving. Now, this is besides all the payment of ransoms and levies in northwest Nigeria. So, the Tinubu administration has completely failed. We are worse than we were under Buhari, and things can only continue to go south because they have not shown any commitment towards improving the situation of things. Instead, they keep on lying that the situation has improved. If we don't get them out after another 4 years in office, the havoc that will be wreaked, I don't think a decade of good leadership would even be able to fix it. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming out of the health sector. If you see what is going on in that sector as regards the budget, you will be shocked at the level of rot in this country. And next is that big one coming out of the United States of America. The Donald Trump-led government has completely humiliated Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. Soyinka is now beginning to feel the repercussions of his display of hatred for other ethnic groups in Nigeria. Let's start by taking that update from the health sector. Look at how the papers reported it. Now, we are in 2025. They are yet to spend half of the budget of 2024, and they are already budgeting for 2026. Look at it. Exclusive. Tinubu government releases only 36% of Nigeria's health budget for capital projects. A Sahara Reporters review of the budget performance document for the fourth quarter of 2024 has shown that only 36% of the Ministry of Health's capital expenditure budget was spent. This is even though the 2024 budget year was extended till June 2025, according to the document. The document revealed that 543 billion naira was appropriated as the health sector's capital expenditure for the 2024 fiscal year. However, only 174.9 billion had been spent as of June 2025. This development comes amid renewed calls for increased funding for Nigeria's health sector and improved healthcare delivery. The country's healthcare indicators are some of the worst in Africa. It has one of the fastest growing populations globally, with 5.5 live births per woman and a population growth rate of 3.2% annually. It is estimated to reach 400 million people by 2050, becoming the world's fourth most populous country. Now, our doctors keep going on strike from time to time because of unpaid allowances, because of several issues, just too many issues. The NMA came out and they were supported by the private practitioners of medicine in Nigeria too, when they said that the health sector would soon collapse. They said the Nigerian health sector would soon collapse. But look at what is happening. 543 billion appropriated by 2024. And by 2025, only 174 had been spent out of the 2024 budget. Meanwhile, they had budgeted for 2025 too. They've not touched that one, and we are in October 2025. By November, they will bring 2026 budget. My God, what kind of corruption is this? Nigerians are just watching. You will still find Nigerians that will defend this. Now, can you argue with people who say this country is cursed? This is shocking. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update from the United States began making the rounds. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has been stripped of his US visa, something that he should ordinarily have as a Nobel laureate. And then they fixed another date for him to appear for another interview. And do you know the date they chose? A date that America marked as a day of global tragedy, September 11th. What a disgrace of Wole Soyinka. And Prof was clearly wailing and crying as he narrated the experience. Look at how the papers reported it. Nobel laureate Soyinka expresses worry as US government revokes visa. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has expressed surprise over the revocation of his United States visa following an official communication from the US Consulate General in Lagos notifying him of the decision. Soyinka, who spoke during a media parley held at Konji's Harvest Gallery Freedom Park, Lagos Island on Tuesday, said he was unaware of any wrongdoing that could have warranted such an action by the US authorities. Oh, it is necessary for me to hold this conference so that people in the United States who are expecting me for this event or that event do not waste their time. I have no visa. I am banned, obviously, from the United States. And if you want to see me, you know where to find me, he told journalists. According to the Nobel laureate, he received an official letter from the United States Consulate General confirming that his non-immigrant visa had been revoked. The Nobel laureate voiced his surprise over the decision, stating, "I'm still looking into my past history. I don't have any past criminal record or even a felony or misdemeanor to qualify for the revocation. I've started looking back. Have I ever misbehaved towards the United States of America? Do I have a history? Have I been convicted? Have I gone against the law anywhere?" Soyinka noted that the situation was particularly baffling because he has maintained cordial relations with US officials in the past and has frequently participated in international engagements hosted in the country. So, at the beginning, I thought it was advance fee fraud because I had never received that kind of letter from that or any other embassy. I thought that maybe AI has been generating generic letters. It was very strange. He maintained that he had more pressing priorities than pursuing visas to destinations he neither desires to visit nor feels welcomed in. So the question of going to such an interview is totally out of consideration, he said. The Nobel laureate also took issue with the choice of September 11 as the date fixed for the re-interview, describing it as a bit superstitious and inappropriate given its global association with tragedy. In addition, I happen to be a little bit superstitious of being given a significant date, not just for the United States but the rest of the world. I am talking about 9/11. This is a day which I have always considered very critical for the United States especially. To me, 9/11 should be regarded as a day of national mourning, of atonement by the Consulate of the United States. He said, wow, he said he has checked all his record and he cannot remember any wrongdoing. He cannot remember any felony. He cannot remember any drug case. But you are standing gidigba behind a man that is guilty of all those crimes. He's your main man. You carry a non-immigrant visa, citizen's treatment. They respected you as a Nobel laureate, but you messed everything up. You showed yourself to be a tribal bigot, a man who the whole world knows that is the best man for the country. You began hating him for nothing, hating a race for nothing, backing a known criminal that is your man. On his last birthday, they came and interviewed this man to talk about Nigeria. He refused. He began talking about the US government. He began talking, criticizing what was happening in America. For God's sake, your country is on fire. For God's sake, your country has the highest rate of infant mortality on earth. For God's sake, your country has the highest number of poor people on the planet. But you don't see anything to talk about because the person in charge is a Yoruba man like you. And you think the whole world cannot see? Of course, people came down heavily mocking Wole Soyinka. He has been stripped by the US of his privileges. Just watch it. Canada will soon strip him. Before you know, UK will strip him. And I knew that a day like this would come. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet's reactions. OG here says he should not express worry. Let him sit his ass here and enjoy the renewed hope. That is it. Why are you worried? Why are you crying and wailing? Why are you going to check your past record if you did anything wrong? Sit in Nigeria. Professor Gbajue. And Konami here says, a nice one. Come and enjoy the country with us. That is it. And this guy posted this when Wole Soyinka says he will tear up his green card if Trump wins. This is how this man keeps bashing Donald Trump. You are supporting Tinubu and you are bashing Donald Trump. How does that add up? How does that add up? I'm not saying that Trump is an angel. I'm not saying that Trump is good or is perfect. But how can somebody who is standing solidly behind Tinubu be criticizing Donald Trump? So it is such a pity that this is where this man is coming to end his legacy. Everything that he has worked for all his life, tribalism has now destroyed everything. This is a sad end for a Wole Soyinka who actually started very well. He was a human rights activist, but look at where tribalism has led him. Tribalism is a vice that we must all reject. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Na I dey here. So, don't go away.